Hey there, lovelies. So, I am making this video, I'm pre-recording this video, and also the next two videos, because I will not be available to make my video for, Tuesday or Wednesday. Actually, this video is going to be going up for Tuesday, so I won't be able to make my videos for Wednesday or Thursday, so I'm going to be pre-recording those. So if you see me wearing the same outfit in the next couple of videos, that is why. Just to give y'all a heads up. Right now my hair is kind of like bing. Okay, so I'm actually going to continue my series, and this one's going to be on the ones that I have recently added to my book. So it's going to be this one's going to be the horror genre. So we're just going to jump right into that one. I love horror movies, I love horror anime, but as a kid I did not know that I was watching horror anime per se. I thought I was watching a mystery or something else, or else my mom wouldn't have let me watch it if it was horror-esque. Oh, yes, cat, I hear you. I recognize your concern, but you are in here for your own safety. So I have 6 dogs and 2 cats, and the 2 cats are constantly getting ganged up on by the 4 puppies. It's funny to watch, but I think Samuel has a weak kidney. If he gets overly stressed, he ends up starting to go through the motions of having kidney failure. And if any cat lovers out there actually know, kidney failure is very detrimental to a cat's health. So if they start going through kidney failure, that's basically a death sentence for them, because their kidneys have some type of toxin in it that if they go through kidney failures, they start releasing it into their bodies, and yeah, it could kill them. So I have to keep Mr. Princess over there from being stressed out. So from time to time I'll lock him in my room. There's a litter box. I'll bring like food and water in here, and they're perfectly fine. It's just they have to stay away from the puppies for a little bit, their own little downtime. But Canthers, on the other hand, our female cat, is constantly wanting outside, and she'll constantly meow at the door. But that was like Sam and Welp. Okay, onto the video. Enough with the cats. I love my cats, but enough with that. Onto the video. Now there are 3 animes on here. 4. Make that 4. Make that 4. Animes on here that I did not know were horror, or I knew they were horror, but my mom didn't know they were horror. So I was able to watch them at the age of like 12, because these are old. I'm gonna start with those because those are the ones that I actually remember two of them. 2 of them I remember profusely because I had nightmares about them. I should not have been watching them, but I don't care. I love horror movies, horror anime, horror anything so much that I'm willing to sacrifice my own health. Yep. I did that to myself. So, let me get my rewatching. Is that what my rewatching? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Is it? Is it real? Oh my gosh, is it really? Yes, yes it is. Haha. Yes. Okay, let me grab my rewatching pen because there's going to be a lot of this on here. One of the animes that are super old, one of the first ones that I've ever seen was Kosette no Shozu. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Ow, my eye. And it is about a boy, not a man, boy, ending up falling in love with a painting, a possessed painting. It's possessed by the girl in the painting, and she was tragically murdered. I'm not going to spoil like who murdered her, but she was tragically murdered, so she possessed the painting inside of an antique shop, and he ended up supernaturally falling in love with her. That's all I'm gonna say. It was very trippy. There was flashbacks to her life. There was also there was a lot going on, and this anime actually tripped me out a little bit. It was psychologically tiring because of the fact that there was so much going on. I understood what was going on, even though I wasn't at an age where I'd actually be going through all of that. So kudos to younger me, just kudos. Sorry. And then yeah, that was a good one. That one I will constantly rewatch. Actually, I want not constantly because I've only seen it like twice. I'm going to rewatch it a third time because I'm a sucker for pain. I will suffer psychologically, which is usually how the anime like horror series go for. It's a lot of really good blood and gore. It's not like too much where it's like ugh, but it's like there. And then there's a lot of psychological aspects in the horror genre that really gets you. So I like those. There's Kaibutsu Ojo. That one I do not remember. I actually don't remember that one. I think I blocked that one out because I was so scared of it. So I'm watching it again because I was too young to watch. In my mind, as a 12 to 14-year-old, this is a anime that I should not have been watching. Not because of any nudity or anything. I should not have been watching it because of how I reacted to it. The fact that I blocked it out, even though I remember watching it, I blocked out the memories of seeing it, means that it was too much. It was too much for my young tween eye. Tokyo Meijin Gakuen Genpuko. I'm so sorry about my pronunciations. Somebody strike me down. Is it Meijin or Majin? I think it's Majin. But Tokyo Majin Gakuen Genpuko. Now this one, God. How many episodes did I watch? I like watched 5 before I finally went, nope, 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 it's too much psychological. The creatures were all very weird and they gave me nightmares, and my mom told me I couldn't watch anymore because they gave me nightmares. And that's a cat. Go Kitters, go Kitters, go Kitters. Kitters, you are in the way. I love you, cat, but you're in the way. Move your kittery bod. Ah, ah. Ah. I love you, but move. Jesus Christ. Almost knocked it over. Oh, shit. Oops. Sorry. Didn't mean to say that, but... Cat. I love you. Stop knocking over my shiz. Okay. And then, Joku Sojo, or Joku Shoujo. This is another one that I was too young to psychologically prepare myself for. I don't know why, but all the horror anime that I've seen as a kid were so psychologically draining that I literally would block out the memories of watching them sometimes. Like some scenes I could not do it. And I don't remember. I don't remember. That's the right word. Watching them. I don't remember. The same with this one will get maybe a few people angry. Gantz. It's Gantz. If you know, you know. I don't remember me watching it, and I'm sad that I don't remember me watching it, because seeing it or seeing the pictures for it made me think all like, that's cool anime. Why don't I remember watching this anime? I remember I watched the anime, but I don't remember watching the anime. And it's annoying. Almost all of these are going to end up being on my to watch again list, except for Danganronpa. Yeah, Danganronpa. Because I am currently watching it. I actually need to check on Crunchyroll to find out, is it Crunchyroll or Hulu? Hulu. It's Hulu. I gotta check on Hulu to see how far I've gotten into the series, because I have gotten to the point where I just recently started, so I have gotten to the point where they actually started suspecting each other. Nobody has, or somebody's died. The first person has died, and they started suspecting each other. So I'm just waiting for everybody to start killing each other off, because it's getting boring. It's kind of like the first part is kind of at that stage of where it's starting. You want it to already start killing. Since you know it's a horror anime, you want the killing to start already. But you know they have to get up to that point, so you're watching the beginning and you're watching as they're going through the actual storyline, going through meeting, greeting, all that stuff, the suspense, the first kill, the suspicion, and then we're gonna get to the kills. At least I hope so. I know we are, but hello, get there already. I think I'm on like the 3rd or 4th episode, and I'm already like, this is getting boring. But then there's quite a few animes that take a bit to get to their actual plot, actual reason why they were even made. Especially if they're like horror anime or like the action animes. Sometimes it takes a bit to get to the reason why they're in that genre. So that's that. Here's gosh, this one's gonna be redundant. Here's another anime called Another. Yeah, I said that right. It's called Another because it's an anime based off of Final Destination, but it's classroom based. It made me terrified of elevators again. I went down the stairs for a month after watching this anime because of how accurate it is to the faultiness of electronics sometimes. So it wasn't just spontaneous. Okay, it was kind of spontaneous, but it wasn't just random. It was random too. Never mind. It wasn't just like death pulling some strings and making the impossible possible. Like, that can't happen. That cannot happen. Because it's not like death is messing with screws and stuff, making screws just undo themselves by themselves. Yeah, that's not what's happening. This is actual things that can cause these kids to die in this classroom. And that's what terrified me the most. I hated looking at boats on the water, at the beach, if I ever went to the beach ever again. I only went to the beach as a kid, and I was absolutely terrified of the fish. I don't want a fish nibbling on my toes. Sorry, sir. I would not like wood. And also the fact that jellyfish are moving more inland, or more to the shore, so there's more of a chance of getting stung, and so are sharks and a-hole dolphins. I will never like dolphins. Just throwing that out there. My mom loves them. I will hate them forever. Because they are the intelligent a-holes of the sea. They will lead sea lions, or more like push sea lions, to their death. I think they are in league with killer whales. Because killer whales are even like, ooh. They both deserve a place in hell. A personal place, a personal pool in hell. Horrible. But back to Another. I just went off on a tangent. But yeah, it's like all of the deaths are actually something that can and will happen. And it even got to the point where when they're trying to stop it all from happening, they actually go a little murder happy. So, homicide with a sprinkle of death's doing. So yeah, let me see. Tokyo Ghoul. I introduced my friend. She was my best friend at the time. We have become estranged over the years, but I introduced her to Tokyo Ghoul when she was living with me, my mom, and at the time my mom's boyfriend. We don't speak his name. We just don't speak his name. Okay. But Tokyo Ghoul, I introduced her to it. She also went off and watched the second season. And she came into my room like every few episodes, just being like, yo, or text me, you, and I'm like, you're welcome. How do you like the psychological trauma? Especially when you see some of these people's backstories, past stories. Yeah, I'm just all like, how do you like psychological trauma? She has a love for one of the characters. I can't think of his name right now, but he has stitches that he did himself, mind you. All over his face, his neck, all over his body. White hair. He's pretty and psychotic. And he uses a scythe. Yeah, I believe he uses a scythe. But if you know, please leave a comment down below of his name, please. I would like to remember, or I'll just research, and because I actually did his stitches for my friend for makeup, because at the time it was still kind of a bad thing for or it was still kind of criticized. It still is for black cosplayers to cosplay as white characters or very pale characters, even though they could be like of a different race. It was very frowned upon for us to have to cosplay as a pale character, even though there's an abundance of them. There is a lot of them. You barely ever see a really dark-skinned character, or even a character with similar skin tone. So at the time it was even worse, because they rarely. Now we have more characters like that are darker in skin tone, but back then it was like 1 in a million, really. So Tokyo Ghoul, another rewatch, because who doesn't like Kaneki, and the fact that he transitioned from this meek little schoolboy to an absolute beast. Literally. To an absolute beast. And the fact that his hair, the more the anime progressed, the whiter his hair became. How? I have one question for the creators. How? Can you explain like the reasoning behind his hair whitening progression? Is there a reason? Why is his hair white? Why is everybody else's hair like not like his? Why is he having this like weirdness or weird transition? I want answers. Okay, and then Zombie Loan. I forgot when I watched it, but I think I watched Zombie Loan while I was in high school. And Zombie Loan is about these three. It's mainly about the three kids. One can see these bands around people's neck. The darker the band, the closer you are to death. And if it's pitch black, you're already dead. You are dead. You're not of the living. Which is where these two boys come in. They're supposed to be getting rid of these unalive people. Finding and getting rid of unalive people. Because they're zombies, basically. They're zombies. So they're contracted, or they're trying to get rid of their own loan by killing these other unalive people. And them themselves are also unalive. They have the black bands. But because they are contracted to take care of these rabid ones, zombies, they don't get killed themselves. Although people are constantly trying to kill them. And also there's a thing with their hands where they can't be too far away from each other because that is not their own hand. I think it's their right hand. Yeah, I think it's their right hand because during an accident, their hands got severed and misplaced. And when they were being reanimated, the guy that found them accidentally attached the wrong hand to the other. And they kind of fight like, if you've seen Vampire Nights, it's kind of like Kaname and Zero because of how catty they are with each other and how one's very stoic and kind of does remind me of Kaname because he does have the color schemes, while one reminds me of Zero, except more brash and loud than Zero, but still color scheme. Snow white hair, not violet eyes, but I think his eyes are red. His eyes are a very bright color, very bright out there color. And then, yeah, they're constantly fighting, but they can't be away from each other. Because if they do, their hands start to rot. The hand that they are borrowing starts to rot. And they also can't use their weapons without switching hands, so that the right owner has their own hand. So, yeah, that's the thing. It's a really good anime. I love that anime. And there's also kind of like a bit of a love triangle in that anime. There's rivals. There's a best friend turn rival. There's a lot going on, and I love it. There's also this, I think, is one of the first horror animes that I've seen that had LGBTQ aspects to it. Although in a more psychotic way, it has those aspects, and I loved it. This is going to be a very long video because I can't stop talking today. And then here's another one. It's called Corpse Party, Tortured Souls. It's a 4-part anime. I watched it while I was in Arizona in 2015. I remember that clearly because I could not go to sleep after I watched it because I decided to watch it in the dark like a Dumbo and scared the living bejesus out of myself. Imagine being like 18, going on 19, and watching that in your dorm room while your roommate's sleeping. So I went downstairs and decided, oh, let's work on my art projects because I'm behind. Still past that class. But yeah. Corpse Party. This one is one that actually traumatized me a bit because I actually can't rewatch the anime. I can watch all the deaths because that doesn't faze me anymore, but I can't rewatch the anime because of all the jump scares. I can watch most anime, I can watch most movies, but jump scares get to me the most. I don't care about the blood, I don't care about the gore. That doesn't do it. It's the jump scares. There's something just pops up on the screen. I just can't. I will scream like a little bee. And I hate that I do it. But this one's actually traumatizing to the point where I will not rewatch it. I can rewatch all the deaths. I can watch all the torture scenes, the ghost dying. I can watch how Sachiko killed all those little kids. But I cannot watch this anime in full anymore. That's one horror anime that had gotten me really badly. Really badly. This one's one of my OG favorites, and it's the last one on the list. You're welcome. This is like a 30-minute episode, but it's the last one on the list. It's called Elfen Lied. If you've seen it and you love it just like I do, it is one of the first creature horror animes that I have ever seen. I would have put Shiki on here, but Shiki's a vampire anime, and I've already did that. The first? Yeah, that was my first episode. So Shiki is a horror anime. Actually, most of the horror anime that are not on this list are actually vampire animes. Like Blood Plus, Blood C. Let me see. And then they're most likely going to be demons. No. Yeah, they're mostly the ones that I've seen are usually like vampires. Vampires or really big what is it? Like actions, because Attack on Titan should be considered slightly horror. Oh, I did have Tokyo Ghoul on action. Whoops. So it's also horror. I did not mean to have that there. Dead Man Wonderland is also horror-esque. I also did not mean to put Zombie Load on here. Whoops. Because it's also action. I bet. But it's like, yeah, it's like most of them are in other genres, and I should have taken those ones out of those other genres since I knew they were slightly horror. Zombieland is not horror in the sense of blood and gore. It's horror in the sense of the actual like killing aspect. It's you're hunting and killing other unalive zombies. It's zombies. So they put it in that genre, which is fine. It's okay, but that one, I'll keep it in the action, but it's still there. The opening though slaps. I think this one's like a 4-minute opening, either a 4 or 5-minute opening. It's a pretty long opening. The full version of it is pretty long. Let me rephrase that. The full version of it is pretty long, and I love it. Actually, I love a lot of the openings, so not really much of a shocker. They have to have like banging openings for most of the anime that I watch. It's kind of a requirement, or else I would skip it. I will skip the opening so hard. I'll just be on like, okay, where do you end? Where do you end? Right there? Okay, well, that is my horror anime genre list. Most of them were colored in orange, as per usual, because I have a very long list to rewatch. I have a very long list to watch, and I have a list that I'm watching. So, I'll keep you tuned on that. Alright, well, I will see you in the next one, lovelies. Bye-bye.